Hello there, and welcome to Ilum Radio. We took a week off for a little bit because, we didn't have too much stuff to talk about, but now we have plenty to talk about. It is May 8th as of this recording. Also, happy May the 4th for those of you who celebrate it, and I'm sure if you're watching...
Belated May the 4th.
Belated May the 4th, and I'm sure if you're watching this, or listening, however you're doing this, you probably celebrate May the 4th. So, happy belated May the 4th.
I mean, we got a couple things during this day. We got actually a lot of Star Wars things dropped that day that I wasn't expecting. So I just want to get this out of the way. Number one, the Star Wars official YouTube channel, literally streamed DJ Rex playing the Cantina music from Oga's Cantina on loop all day, which was pretty sick.
That's pretty awesome.
And they also dropped episodes of Visions, which we will talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This all 8 weeks, and they also dropped Young Jedi Adventures, which I have started watching, but I haven't actually finished all the episodes.
Oh, all episodes are out for Young Jedi Adventure? I did not know that. I thought it was gonna be episodic.
Yes. And they're all I think they're all 20 minutes or so.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're all not the shorts that were released to YouTube. The shorts are completely different, so
Gotcha.
you can watch Young Jedi Adventures completely blind. And we get new characters introduced to these episodes, I can tell you that,
So, Jen brought up how... We're talking about it, we went to a brewery, on Friday, after watching some stuff, and she's like, can't we just watch, one Star Wars thing that isn't depressing or, a war going on? Can we just watch one thing? I'm like, look... Young Jedi Adventures. There it is. That's the thing. That's all I got. Everything else, even cartoons, is she's not wrong. Even the cartoons are kind of little sad-ish. Rip Kanan Jarrus and things like that. So
yeah, but I mean, this is a preschool show, so I mean...
Fair. There you go. Yes, we have to watch a preschool show.
I hope there's nothing depressing in a preschool kid show. That would be...
Not yet. I mean...
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Young Jedi Adventures yet. We will cover that eventually.
Yep. Tonight, we're talking about Star Wars Visions, Season 2, specifically Sith, the first episode. Now, normally, we would probably want to discuss these... Millie and I were talking about this before the show. And normally, we would probably want to discuss the entire season in one shot. But considering how different every episode was this year or this season, and the different houses or animation houses that did the work, and just how, because last season it was all anime stuff, I think, right? It was all anime studios,
all different anime studios, but they were all basically anime,
right?
From the same country. So,
and this season we had just one anime studio, and we had Spain, we had Ireland, the US, South Africa, the UK. We had a lot different ones this season. But tonight we're talking about Sith, which is done by El Guri Studios. Is actually one of 3 that they've done so far for their own work. And so basically, just a quick recap of this episode. Then we'll go into what we liked and didn't like and things. And I can't think of anything I really didn't like about this episode. We have a one-armed, Force-sensitive user by the name of Lola, and she's chilling with her robot buddy by the name of E2, who's round, very BB-8 looking. And he looked kind of Imperial, which was a very foreshadowing thing.
Yes.
Yep. And her Sith master comes to reclaim her because she doesn't want to be Sith anymore. A battle ensues, and yeah. So...
she reminds me of a certain Legends character.
Who?
Mara Jade.
Ah. Yeah. I can see where they got the inspiration from. Absolutely.
That's probably her inspiration, to be quite honest. I mean, because I can't think of any other Star Wars character other than maybe Starkiller? Question mark? That's technically a former Sith.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you think about it, she's also like a complete like mirror kind of to Ahsoka. Technically, Ahsoka was a Jedi, but now she's technically not. Well, Lola, right? The character name.
Mm-hmm.
She was once a Sith, but now she's technically not, and she's kind of like in between.
True. True. Very true.
Like when they reveal that she was a former Sith, but not really a Jedi, she's kind of just using both light and dark. Like,
right.
Kind of reminded me of Ahsoka a little bit.
What?
With polar opposites.
So you brought it up right before we started, but yeah. You just said it, but I am looking up forward to some cosplay that's gonna come from this episode. Like,
I'm looking forward to the cosplay from everything.
True.
Honestly.
Yes.
Not just this episode, but.
Well, this episode, so so I love the story and what they're painting. See what I did there? What they're painting with it all is that like she basically designs her own reality. Her own reality is full of like all this light and color and this beauty, you know. And then it's not until she encounters the Sith Lords when we actually see the reality of her world. She's on like a derelict planet. And everything's all like messed up and red, and even her ship looks like all like dark sidey and just it's not looking good for Lola. What'd you think of the art style in this episode?
That was so cool. A little trippy at first because I wasn't used to seeing art style yet.
Same.
But, like, think a little bit into the episode, I kind of got used to the art style. And stuff.
Hang on one sec. But yeah, like the art style was definitely something to get used to. And I almost didn't like it at first until I realized what was going on. Cause like, well, like I said, like it started off with like, you know, this white background, all this color. And it's just like, why does her world look like this? This is a very weird design choice for what they're doing. Then it's like, oh, it's how she sees the world. What I've always loved about Star Wars, and even just cosplaying Star Wars, is asymmetry. And I really, really, really liked her one arm. And like just it was all the way up like on the shoulder. It just wasn't like the hand or, you know, something we would normally see. It's like her whole shoulder is gone, and it's now a, you know, robotic bionic arm. But yeah, like I'm trying to think of like things I didn't like about this episode. I even watched it beforehand. Fun fact, and we brought this up before when we talked about Visions. The actors who did the English translation also did the voice acting in Spanish as well. And
that's right.
I watched it in Spanish, and it was pretty dope to watch. I gotta say, it sounds more poetic, I guess you could say, in Spanish.
Really?
Well, yeah, because like the dialect they're speaking is like Catalan, so they have like bebés and comes and like just like how their accent is always sounds a bit like cooler. It's like almost like as a Spanish speaker, it's like speaking English and then hearing like proper English from England being spoke. It's like, ooh, this is fancy. It's a lot like that. Yeah. And it was cool to watch it, and it's really nice that they could still have the same emotion in these characters in both English and Spanish. Because we've seen it with anime. Like, when it gets dubbed, it loses something, you know?
Yeah. I want to watch one of the episodes in Japanese to see how...
Yes.
How it is.
Did you ever... A buddy of mine sent it to me. Did you ever watch Obi-Wan, or at least a scene where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight each other, but it's dubbed over in Japanese?
Oh, I have not, but I really want to.
It is so effing epic. Like, and they give like
I wanted to watch the originals in Japanese, but I don't think there's an option to, sadly.
On Disney Plus?
On Disney Plus. Yeah.
I have not even checked.
I can double check real quick, but this is getting off topic here, but...
Is it, though? Is it, considering the first season of Visions was, like, mostly anime-based
You know what?
and things?
Fine.
It's not too off topic, I think. Well, no, it's not.
I have Disney Plus open right now. I can just look at it.
Of course you have it open right now. I am not surprised.
Because I remember I watched season 7 of the Clone Wars in Japanese. It was really cool.
Really?
That's available in Japanese.
That does sound pretty cool, actually.
It was like literally the first episode I was watching it in Japanese anyway. There it is. There it is. Let me... There's no way to do it in the main menu. I have to actually play the movie to actually get the dub.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
It's fine. You can't see my screen, so... And it won't show up anyway or hear it anyway.
Nah.
Alright. Pause. Settings. Audio. No Japanese.
Bastards. I guess no one translated it yet.
I bet like the sequels and stuff have Japanese dubs, but not, because actually, hold on. Do the prequels have it though? That's actually great. Hold on. Does episode 3 at least have Okay, let's try... Revenge of the Sith. Play... a Japanese dub, because, like... I understand if the originals don't, because of obvious reasons, like... Huh. No Japanese for episode 3.
Huh.
Hold on, let's try TFA. TFA better have a Japanese dub, I swear.
It may not. Now that with the way the pattern's going, it might not.
I don't know. At least the newer films have to have the Japanese dub. Oh my god. They don't.
Ha! Interesting. Huh.
Huh. Why is that?
Maybe it's regional. Maybe if we were in, like, Asia Pacific, maybe it would be in the have the dub, possibly.
Actually, hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait. Is this Japanese? Hold on. Let me... Am I dumb? Did I just... It might be Japanese. Hold on, because I can't read.
Was it in Japanese characters and you're saying it wasn't?
I think so. Here, let me hear it. Hold on. I am dumb. I have English subtitles on, so just in case.
Right.
It is. Okay, it is Japanese. Okay, I did miss that, apparently. Now I have to check again, because I'm dumb, so...
Happens to the best of us, Millie.
Alright, let's see.
We never said we were smart on this show.
Revenge of the Sith. Let's try again. Let's see if I can find the... Because, like, I'm just expecting to see, like, the English, like, Japanese, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
Alright, pause, settings... Okay, it is available in Japanese. Hold on. So you can watch episode 3 in Japanese, but can you watch A New Hope in Japanese? Because I apparently missed that, so... God, I want to watch A New Hope in Japanese when I'm done with this.
You probably should, just so you did.
Badass, anyway. You can cut all this out if you want.
Nope, we're keeping this. We're keeping this.
Oh my god.
People need to see like what you're doing.
All right, it is available in Japanese, and it kept Actually, hold on. I actually want to hear Vader in Japanese. Just gonna skip to when he shows up. So
I will say this also. Watching Sith in Japanese, not Japanese, in Spanish, the Sith Lord himself does sound very intimidating in Spanish. Like he just gets his voice gets like deeper with the modulation. It's just it's spooky. It's spooky. How's it sound?
Vader just entered the room.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, here, Leia. A 3PO talks. Okay. I just want to hear Leia, or not. Well, Leia doesn't speak yet. It feels like I'm watching an anime because I have English subtitles on, so...
Yeah.
I want to hear Vader. This does sound like the original Japanese dub, like
Japanese dub from the 70s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they were recorded in the 70s. I could be wrong. Or at least, in the 80s. Yeah, okay. I was wrong. I was dumb. You can watch the original in Japanese. That's the whole point of this conversation. I had to look into it, so...
Like I said, we never said we were smart on this show. You know what I mean?
Nope.
We never said that. So, if you're coming...
Now I'm going to watch Star Wars in Japanese when I'm done with this, so...
I'm not saying we're that dumb, but this isn't a highbrow show. I'm just saying.
No.
But yeah, the Sith Lord himself did sound a lot more intimidating in Spanish. I'm not sure why. I think he put more, expressiveness or art in his voice when he spoke, especially the voice modulator.
I feel like they're also it feels like they're meant to be like Spanish was meant to be their native tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they sounded more natural to you.
Yeah. Because the voice acting in English was really good, but just hearing it in Spanish just adds so much more to it. What are your thoughts on the design of the Sith Lord?
Obsessed. I bet you must be too, as a big Sith nerd.
If I could, and we'll get to it in other episodes, but there's so many cosplays I would love to do in this whole entire bit, and his Sith Lord looked really, really dope.
I mean, this Sith Lord had a helmet, so I think you could pull it off.
Well, this one had just a face thing. His head was so kind of open.
Yeah.
But I mean,
some of them had. Actually, there was
the one from which episode?
5?
Yeah, Journey to Darkhead or Darkhead. He's the one that had the helmet.
Yeah, I liked that design really much.
It was really cool. Excuse me, it was really cool. Excuse me. What were your thoughts on the design of the lightsabers?
The fact that they're designed like swords is pretty cool. Also, if you look at the color of her lightsaber, the color, it's very similar to the Imperial Knights. I'm saying this in quotations, blade colors that we see in Ahsoka, which is very interesting, actually. Now, we know in context who she really is.
Right.
So, if you look, if you compare the blade colors, they're basically the same shade of, red-orange.
Hang on, this one's showing me white ones. Give me a second.
It's in the thumbnail of the episode. The blade color.
I'm looking for the Imperial Knights blade color.
The Imperial Knights, the characters from Ahsoka, the Ahsoka trilogy.
Oh, them. I was looking at the OG
Them.
Imperial Knights. Like,
No. I mean, they're theorized to be Imperial Knights, like in live action, but yeah.
yeah, okay. But no, yeah, you are absolutely correct. Like, it does have like that yellowish type of glow. So, obviously, for those of you who, and I doubt this is the case with some of our listeners or watchers, obviously none of this is canon at all.
No, I mean, it could be like canon adjacent, you know what I mean? Like, this could have happened, but not in like this. Kind of like Lego Star Wars, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, especially with I Am Your Mother, because that
Yes.
is that feels very connected to the canon.
It does. I agree. And
And it did feel like a Lego special, by the way. So that's why I'm saying canon adjacent, because the Lego specials are canon adjacent. So.
And this episode in particular, yeah, I could definitely see it like happening in like the Old Republic era, or even like High Republic era, where it's like, just.
I mean, considering that they're both Siths, or one of them was originally, I feel like this could have been like Old Republic era, like before the prequels, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely gives off that vibe to it. And I was actually watching.
Some of them were set in specific eras, and we will talk about that in future episodes. But yeah, this one did feel like it was like a pre-prequels and more of like a Old Republic type thing.
And I also
which has been established to be canon in the canon timeline. Thanks to Celebration, so keep that in mind.
I also think that, because I was watching some of the behind the scenes stuff, and the creative, like the studio, like Yuri, they basically took a lot of inspiration from like actually all these creators, not just like them, but like all these creators took inspiration from literally their home, like where they, like the country they're in, or like neighborhoods or whatnot. And like they want to really put in like that's why the swords look very cool, like the lightsabers look like swords, because the Sith's lightsaber looks very similar to like a Spanish like musketeer sword, almost like very swashbuckly, you know what I mean? And
makes sense.
Lola's looks more like a rapier, but they want to really stick with that because the Spanish back in like I think the 1700s were really well known for making like good swords back in the day. So they want to bring in that history with this and have it inspired by it, and it was pretty cool. And apparently, I think this is like their first film that the studio actually made.
Really?
So the director, and unfortunately I don't have his name right now, I'll look up in a second. The director himself was like, hey, cool, I just made my own like animation studio. I want to make a science fiction movie, with my animation studio. And the moment he said that, Lucasfilms calls. And they're like, hey, by the way, we're doing a Vision season. Yeah, they're doing Vision season 2.
Wild.
Does your studio want to do some stuff? And he's like, fuck, all right, yeah, sure.
Imagine forming an animation studio and immediately Disney calls out. That is a dream.
Yes. And like watching, like for those of you watching this, whenever you watch any of our episodes of covering Visions 2 or just Visions in general, watch the behind the scenes like episodes. They're like about 9 minutes each, and they cover every single like episode of this season.
Wow, I have not seen any of them.
They are so freaking cool, and it is dope to hear these creators sound like us. They're fans. They're basically fucking fans. And like you said, Disney called them up. Hey, do you want to work on a Visions episode? And everyone just going apeshit. And everyone,
oh my god, I don't blame them.
And everyone on the project are Star Wars fans, so they're going apeshit. And basically, it's just a lot of apeshit being thrown around because they're excited to work on a Star Wars. And you can't blame them. I do like how, in the end of this episode, because it starts off with her trying to do like some type of like painting with her force powers, but it wasn't going well, going black, and she was fighting it. So I do like how at the end she kind of accepted both sides.
Kind of embraced.
Yeah, like she embraced the dark side and helped her like fight with the light, and then like her saber just became like double bladed and shit, and just.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
I was like, ooh.
Like, sabersmiths, like, I think...
Dude, I love how both colors were different colors. Like,
yes!
So sick. I don't think you've ever seen that on screen before.
Nope.
Which is pretty cool.
We've seen it in video games. We've seen fellow cosplayers do it. But yeah, I don't think... Same. I don't think it's ever... never on screen. Like... like... It's... Is there any
part... I don't know why I thought about Cal Kestis when she did that. I was like, oof. Two blade colors.
You have no idea how hard I've tried to make 2 different blade colors for Cal Kestis in Jedi Survivor. Yes, I have it. Yes, I will stream it eventually on this channel.
But you started playing it?
I did. I had to. I couldn't resist. But I will play it from the beginning for you guys, so we can have fun playing it. And I tried so hard in this and in Fallen Order to make 2 separate colors, and you just can't fucking do it without modding it, and it's kind of annoying. Very, very annoying. Anywho, but yes, 2 different blade colors is freaking dope, and I love how they're both curved.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Boy.
And yeah, the design of her robot buddy, E2 definitely foreshadows that she was a Sith, because he looked very Imperial when we all started off. Mm-hmm. Very Imperial.
Yes. We did learn that she was a former Sith apprentice.
Right.
Master that she fights later on.
I do like how E2's face became a gun, or eyeball became a gun, and it blasted the head off like the other like bounty hunter droid or Sith minion, whatever you want to call it.
Lola has her own Wikipedia page.
Does she really? I didn't even look.
Yeah, she does. Hold on.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot more than I thought it would have. Lola was a Force-sensitive female human who at some point served as the apprentice of a Sith Master, which we don't get a name of, just Sith Master, which I think is kind of cool. She eventually abandoned the dark side of the Force in favor of a peaceful life and was hunted down by her former mentor. She wielded a unique double-bladed lightsaber with curved blades. One end of the weapon emitted a yellow blade, the other was red. Background... you made a promise, remember. At some point, the Force-sensitive Lola came under the tutelage of a Sith Master and pledged her allegiance to him. Ultimately, she broke her promise and fled her master's company. Eventually, she settled on a frigid astrological body and took up residence with an obelisk-like structure on the surface. Here, she lived in relative isolation with only her loyal droid E2 for company. What I do... That's the other thing I want to bring up also really quick, is that it felt like, at the beginning at least, she was on this world as like almost like a worker, I guess you could say, like on an outpost. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we realize she's doing it to stay safe and isolated from the Sith Lord himself, which... Do you think he's the reason why she has no arm?
Yeah.
And like that's why
I guess is that my headcanon is that maybe like he was training her to be a Sith and accidentally cut her arm off or something, or was meant to like she was meant to dodge like the saber but unsuccessfully didn't dodge it and cut her arm off and didn't really care because Sith Lord,
Right. Like I think it was either accident. I think it was intentional that he cut it off because. For the Inquisitors...
Maybe it was in punishment, too.
Yeah. Because Vader does that to the Inquisitors. Whenever they fuck up, he takes a limb. Like...
Oh,
yeah. So...
Maybe it was Vader, I mean, he's not alive if we were to speculate when this takes place, but... canon adjacent. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, I do think it was him who took her arm, like probably, because she fucked up training, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he took it. That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
Would you want to see a continuation of this story if the studio goes with it?
I don't know. I don't know where this would go. I mean, I feel like these were all meant to be one-offs. I don't think. I mean, I would have loved to see a continuation from Volume 1, like from some of the episodes.
Same.
Maybe some of them, like, I feel like some of them deserve second parts, but some of them I feel like deserve to just stay as, like, standalones. Like, I think this one ended pretty good, so I don't think this deserves a second part.
Same. I mean, I'd like to see a second part of it, but well, that's the thing that I found weird about season 1. Season 1 was very anime heavy, yes, but at least half of them ended on a cliffhanger, or ended like they're going to continue on the story eventually, and a lot of these really kind of sort of didn't, and. No. There was like which I thought was kind of cool. There was a big overlying.
I mean, some of them also, I mean, from what I've seen so far, have also ended on cliffhangers.
Yeah, like
for this volume, not the first volume.
I mean, this kind of sort of didn't. It could end here. Screecher's Reach kind of sort of ended on a cliffhanger. I guess you could say.
They really did. Yes, I agree.
Like that could really turn into its own thing. Do we want to talk about Screecher's Reach maybe this episode, or you just want to leave it here on Sith? I mean,
that will be a tease for next week.
Because like, there's really like, is there anything you hated about Sith? Honestly,
not really.
Right?
I really liked it. Very stylistically unique. Cool story. Interesting characters. Like, I liked it. So
I loved how it told us a lot in like 17 minutes. And
yeah, they really did.
Right? Like in 17 minutes we got like a shit ton. And there wasn't even that much dialogue in this episode, like at all.
It was all like visual. Storytelling.
Like no dialogue like whatsoever, and it just came out just good. Shoot, it makes me want to be an animator to hopefully get to direct like a Star Wars thing eventually in season 5 or 8 of Visions, if it makes it that far. Now I haven't looked myself. I haven't seen too much like backlash from the Twitterverse about this. Have you at all, or not really?
I have not.
Because it has like, they're all.
My Twitter timeline has been mostly Jedi Survivor stuff and people yelling about it, like, good way, not a bad way, but in a good way. But yeah, most of my Star Wars Twitter timeline has been mostly Jedi Survivor stuff and also like May the 4th stuff. So
fair.
Oh, and also the Carrie Fisher thing, like the Walk of Fame.
That did happen this past week on May the 4th. And apparently, a couple of fellow Star Wars fans really pissed off Mark Hamill during it.
He did. Yes. And he tweeted about it today. So.
Did he really? I didn't even know he tweeted.
He did.
Ooh, I gotta look that up real quick. We gotta read that. Hang on 1 second.
I mean, he just retweeted the thing where he got mobbed by the fans. So.
Oh, he really didn't say much else?
He posted a hashtag. That's all I'll say.
Mark Hamill. We're doing this live, folks. We're doing this live. The downside of celebrity. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. So he acknowledged it.
If anything, we'll probably put this in the link below for you guys to see what's going on. But yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Treat celebrities like human beings. Like, come on, y'all. Yeah. Like, do better. Like, if you want an autograph from celebrities, go to a freaking convention. That's what they're there for, you know?
Right, and this is the kind of shit that'll make. I mean, maybe not him specifically, but this is the kind of shit that'll prevent a celebrity, or maybe stop a celebrity from going to an event. Because it's like,
Right?
because
I mean,
first off, like, these guys are
yeah.
nuts. I don't want to do this shit. So,
Yeah. Goodness, he doesn't need cons anymore, but my goodness. Things are just unhinged sometimes.
I mean, as Star Wars fans, we know we're unhinged, but you know that's a whole new level of unhinged. I guess.
I mean, that's just disrespect. Like, disrespectful to him. His privacy, you know?
I do have one toy of his. Actually, a couple things I'd want him to sign if I ever met him. My Last Jedi poster that I'm looking at right now from Celebration.
Oh, I have the big version. The big, you know that poster.
Yeah.
The
one with all
one.
the. Ooh, yeah, that's the one I have, but it's the smaller version.
Yeah, I have the big version, so.
I'd have him sign that, because, you know, why not? But also, you can kind of see it over my shoulder right here. But I have a very, very, very old Star Wars toy, and it's of Mark Hamill, or Luke Skywalker rather, on Dagobah, and he's like all sleeveless and stuff, and it's kind of open but not. It's right there, right there. It's kind of open but not really. But I'd have him sign that. But anyway, I digress. Good episode of Visions. Yeah, most of these have been tear jerkers, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And oh yeah, here are the countries that actually did. I can speak tonight. These are the countries that did, and studios who did take part in Vision Season 2. El Guri Studios from Spain, Cartoon Saloon from Ireland, Punk Robot from Chile. Ooh, that one I gotta watch in Spanish. Aardman Animations from the United Kingdom, Wallace and Gromit, obviously. Studio Miraco Ltd. from South Korea. Studio La Chete from France. 88 Pictures from India. That one was one of my favorites. The Art Chantajo, Japan, United States. And Triggerfish from South Africa. And every single one did, and we'll talk about it later in other episodes. Every single one did give a lot of inspiration from their home country. So it's cool to see. But next week we'll be talking about Screecher's Reach. Any closing thoughts on this episode, Millie?
Nope.
I
got nothing.
Is there anything you disliked about this? I know I'm reaching really hard, but
I don't like. I mean, so far I haven't seen it. I didn't dislike anything, you know?
Yeah, same. It's
I enjoyed every single one on their own, as their own thing.
Yeah.
Which I liked, so.
I agree. I do, and I'll say it again when we get to the last episode, but I did like this season a bit more than the previous season, and we'll get into that in other episodes. But anywho, friends, that is it for us tonight. Very short episode, I know, but this is a very short thing to cover. But like I said, we want to make sure we give every single episode of Visions its own episode of a podcast, because they're all beautiful, unique in their own right, and it'd be kind of wrong just to lump them all together in an hour podcast, talking about them really, really quickly. It's not something I want to do. It's not something Millie wants to do, and it just, it'd just be great to have them all together. Anyway, friends, that is it for us. If you like this episode, please like it, subscribe it, comment below. What did you like about this episode of Sith? What did you not like? Send us a message. Send us a message here and there to our email ilumradiopodcast@gmail.com. If there's a specific Star Wars topic you want to hear us talk about. If you want to find us on the social medias, you can find us on Ilum Radio at Twitter. Or at Twitter. I mean, blah, 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 blah. Take two. You can find us on Twitter at Ilum Radio. You can find us on Instagram at Ilum Radio. You can also find us on TikTok at Ilum Radio. And of course, if you want to find us directly on our own social medias, Millie, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at me_Halperin, as well as Instagram at Millie_Halperin.
If you guys want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at TheBeardedMenace. You can find me on Instagram at DavidBeardedMenace. TikTok every now and then. I got to get more active on there before they shut it down at DavidBeardedMenace. And if you want to hang out with me and Millie during a live stream on my Twitch channel, you can come out to twitch.tv/DavidBeardedMenace. I will be going back to a normal streaming schedule there, but also stay tuned to the Ilum Radio Twitter, because once I figure out the best place for us to stream some gaming, we will be streaming some gaming on this channel. But I just gotta find the proper best place for that. Anywho, friends, that is it for us tonight. As always, be easy, stay frosty, and may the Force be with you. Peace.